We are live. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for clicking the button and welcome to our first broadcast for 2021. We were meant to go live on Sunday. However, I ended up working. So my apologies. I felt like it was a pretty good excuse though. So I want to say Happy New Year. And even though the majority of Australia didn't get fireworks, or at least Victoria didn't get fireworks, it doesn't mean that it didn't start off with a bang. So, and if it didn't literally start off with a bang, then there's still time. But I hope you had a wonderful entry into the new year. And for some of you, you might have been happy to see the back of 2020. For me personally, I was one of those real weird bastards who was like, I love 2020. I think I mentioned the other day, except for the solitude, which doesn't bode well when you're an extrovert like me and a social butterfly that I am. So I do hope that 2021 has a little less of that. But still, we made some magic happen in those moments of alone time. So scratch that. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Anyway, we got through the year, all of us. Well done. Congratulations. And today, what I want to have a quick chat to you about is what you have got planned for 2021. So we all thought 2020 was the year of vision. Slap us in the face. But, I want to know what you've got coming up for 2021. And if you don't know, then I've got a few tips on things that you need to make sure that you smash out 2021, pandemic or not, right? Because let's be real, there's a likelihood that we might go through the same fuckwittery at some point in this year again. And I think as triggering as that could be, I hold you all accountable to make sure that you take that information and you mitigate it. Do what you can to mitigate your life, to mitigate your business, to make sure that you get through the other end of it, in a safe and sound, mentally safe, physically safe and sound way. So for those of you who have just seen this button pop up saying some chick's going live, and you're like, who is she? I am Aileen Day. I am the owner of Value Driven Brand and Meraki Business Solutions. I absolutely go crazy for talking about sex. And for those of you who've joined me before, you will know full well that I am talking about customer, employee, and human experience. And when we say it all together, it sounds like sex, 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 and LinkedIn can't do anything about it. Yes, I just like to push the envelope a little bit and make you wonder if you're on Pornhub or LinkedIn. So, but either way, the beauty of it is that when you put all of those components together in your life and in your business, it most certainly is what I call the joy of sex, because it creates so much value for the way that you do business, for the way that you interact with humankind, and the impact and the value that it drives within your life as well. So that is my mission in life, is to get you to understand the joy of sex and to create a value-driven business and a value-driven life so that we can all live in a much more prosperous and peaceful world, pandemic or not. So what do you need for 2021? Well, look, sometimes I might need a strong shot of tequila. But generally speaking, there are a few things that as a business owner, maybe as a leader in business, as an entrepreneur, whatever you want to classify yourself as. To be honest, I never quite understand if I'm an entrepreneur or a business owner, or even now working with the thought leaders, global thought leaders guys. I'm like, am I a practice? Oh, you know what? It doesn't matter. Whatever I am in business. I run a practice, a business for myself to support and help others in business as well. So whatever you classify yourself as, if that sounds similar to you, then there are a few things that I want to put out there for you to consider to make sure that your 2021 goes off like a frog in a sock, right? And the first thing is I want you to consider, if you haven't already, and I really urge you to make this your within the next fortnight priority, because the reality is my members, I think I've mentioned before, the members of my Momentum Business Accelerator group, they did their planning for 2021 last year. So in December, early December last year, they did their planning day that I facilitated for them, and they all sat there for the day. And this wasn't just a, like wham bam, thank you ma'am type situation, like, oh, I've come up with 5 goals, now fuck off. This is a like full day reflection, consideration, debriefing, planning for the future, thinking big day for 2021. They have already done that. And the reason that they have already done that is because I want to see them set themselves up so that when the 1st of January 2021 hits, they are booming. They are ready to go. I'm being very Greek again. Sorry, guys. Goodness me. I did this the other day. I was like, my arms were wavering around, getting all excited. But the point is that if you haven't done that for your own business, I really want you to consider what you can do to debrief your 2020, your year that was in life and in business. And I want you to consider what won for you, what was a winner for you, what was some lessons learned for you, and certainly what are you going to do based on your strengths and your weaknesses and where you see your business purpose. What can you do in 2021 to get yourself to achieve your business purpose that step closer? Now, if you haven't even got a business purpose, maybe you should get in touch with me. And then maybe we should work on your business purpose and your mission. And then maybe we should consider a planning day. Because the reality is that if you haven't set up your plans for 2021, you are flying blind, right? You are crossing the Antarctic and likely to fall in the snow and die in a blizzard. That is the reality of it. So if you haven't already set up what you want to achieve, your goals and your objectives for 2021, and they don't have to be extensive. To be honest, if you go too crazy, the likelihood is that you'll just become overwhelmed and you won't achieve shit. So if you don't want to do that, then keep them simple, but keep them strong, right? One of the things that I love doing to my MBA guys is pushing back on them when they go, oh, I think I could do this year. I'm going to get 200 followers. Bullshit. If you are consistently doing and executing on those goals, then there is no reason why you can't get 1,200 followers or, a 80% increase in engagement, whatever your metrics are that you want to achieve. The other part is that the more you are aligning yourself to your purpose, the more you're going to enjoy what you're doing, the more you're going to be seen to be, people are going to want to be around you. People are going to want to have a piece of that pie. Like I love that when I go and talk to people who've never heard of customer and employee and human experience before, that by the end of it, they're all like, yeah, sex! We're going to have great sex! Because my passion and my love for that whole topic, that whole area of business is contagious in a great way, in a good way. Sometimes my analogies go over the top. Sorry. But the point is that if you plan to execute activities aligned to your purpose, you're going to love what you're doing, aren't you? Otherwise, why the hell are you doing it? Let's talk about that as well. But the reality is that when you love what you do, people love that you love what you do, and they want to be involved in that as well. So, number 1, get your plans together. Figure out what your objectives are for 2021. They have to align to your bigger purpose, to your mission. If they don't align to your mission, do you know what that is? That's a great excuse to fuck it off, to say no. Because in business, what we're really good at is we're really good at trying to do everything for everybody. I've just come back from a few days away working with a business in regional Victoria, which was absolutely brilliant fun. And anyone else in regional Victoria, if you need me, I'm out for a holiday. It's not a holiday, I know, but it was a lovely change of scenery. But the reality was that they tried to be everything, or were at some point trying to be everything to everyone, and you're not going to be. So the beautiful thing when you have your mission and your purpose is that you can use that as an excuse to start saying no. And I encourage you, because the power isn't just in what you do, but the power is in also what you don't do. And I want you to think about that. So, planning. The second thing that I really find to be one of the biggest game changers when it comes to creating success and getting through a year and creating a value-driven brand, not just for yourself in your business, but for yourself in your life. Because, to be honest, why else did we get into business for ourselves if not to kind of do something for us? I have the opportunity, if I want to go back and work 100-hour weeks. But I chose to get out of that and go into business for myself because I want to create a value-driven life for me and for my son. And to do that, that really means that I need the planning aspect to be really solid. But I also need the support around me. And so many of us in business, it is a lonely freaking road, lonely road. The first 3 years that I was in business, as I mentioned before, I am quite the social butterfly. I am certainly an extrovert. There is probably some number, very low number of introvert within me. And it's probably only a forced fraction, that I've had to adapt to becoming, quiet over time. It's not a naturally occurring thing. But whether you are naturally introverted or not, to be in business, especially as a solopreneur, but even if you have a team, it can still be kind of lonely. They say the higher up the ladder you get, the lonelier it is. So what other thing can you do for yourself to make sure that you don't feel lonely, to make sure that you understand that this isn't a venture on a lonely path, that you have the help, that you have the support, and that you have the like-minded people around you to pick you up when you need it, that you have like-minded people around you to support you when you have questions that you can't answer yourself, that you have someone to pick up the phone to and have a chat. And that comes down to putting yourself in a position where you are in a group of supportive, like-minded people. And that might be, in a personal life situation, you might go to church and you might find that. Not me personally. I think I'd probably puff up in burn and flames if I tried to stand in church. But that doesn't quite give you the same impact as a business, a group of like-minded business people. So after learning this key to success last year, I set up my own herd, and we now have, as I mentioned before, the Momentum Business Accelerator Group. And that is where now I, a level of selfishness, I realize that I need a herd. And then I learned, hang on a minute, other people need a herd as well. How? I'm going to create one. And they are everywhere. Trust me, they're everywhere. Every man and his dog has a group or a community or a mastermind. They have something. But the reality is that they all work towards the same vision. They all work towards creating a community of people who are like-minded, who are there to support each other. So whether you join Kerwin Ray, whether you join me, whether you join anybody else that has anything of the sort, the reality is that when you find the person who is best suited to you, and it might not be me, and that's okay, but it might be me, and if it is, then you should call me. But the reality is that whoever is the right person for you, get in touch with them. Find out what support mechanisms they have available to you so that you are not walking this road of business, entrepreneurship, self-employment, and leadership alone. Because it is a shitty, lonely road sometimes. And every now and then, it actually pays to know that you are in a group of people who care about you, who want the best for you. And the next part that comes with that is finding someone to hold you accountable. And I have always said that it's a case of, even when you work for yourself, everybody needs a boss. And I probably should rephrase that in a sense. It's not that everybody needs a boss, but everybody needs somebody who cares about them enough to push back. Everybody needs somebody that cares about them enough to hold them up. Everybody needs somebody in their life who cares about them enough to challenge them when they don't want to do the work, to push them when they think they can't go any further, to support and celebrate them when they get across the finish line. And that is what accountability is. And I find that every single opportunity to create accountability and to be held accountable, because it's a two-way street, certainly it is what drives me to lead by example in my MBA. I even lead by example by doing everything that I expect of my group. If my group have to post their plans every week, so do I. If my group have to facilitate any work, I do it as well. If whatever is expected of them as participants, as members of that group, then there is no reason why I, as the leader, will not do the same thing. Because what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So that is the third part, accountability. So we've got number one, get your plans sorted. Find out what your goals are and your objectives Make sure that they are aligning to your vision and purpose. And if they're not, beautiful excuse to start saying no. I said no, right? Think of yourself as a temperamental 3-year-old if you have to. No, I don't want to. Whatever works for you, right? The second thing is to make sure that you put yourself in the correct group for you. Don't go with just anybody because they're famous. Don't go with somebody just because they promise you the world, right? Oh God, I've like dodged so many bullets because I've gone to these conferences and seminars and people have gone, I'm going to give you the world and it's going to be really easy. And I'm like, yay! And then I've gone, hang on a minute. Nah, that's not it. And have potentially saved myself over, one of them was $75,000. And what I would say is that find your herd, but find them through reviews, through testimonials. Pick up the phone, speak to an actual member of whatever that herd is. Because some of these groups come with very significant price tags, and that's not a bad thing. People go, oh, you're not worth that. Well, you know what? They think they're worth it, and that's fine. Somebody will pay that. It just means that you're not their customer. So that's fine. But there are so many out there. As soon as I started the Momentum Business Accelerator, my head exploded with, and so did my Facebook feed, because I was starting to get bombarded with every other person's mastermind or business accelerator program as well. So find the one that suits you, right? Sometimes I'm also going to say, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So please, before you go and make some considerable investments, which when you choose the right one can absolutely become a marvelous return on investment, just do some due diligence. Be smart, okay? But don't walk the path alone. You don't have to. There are people out there who care about you, and you just have to find them, all right? And to be honest, I have come across so many of these groups. I am even happy if you want to contact me and ask some questions, and maybe I can put you in the direction of someone who might be suitable to you. Because trust me, I'm not offended if it's not me. Because what I realize is that if it's not me, it's okay. It's totally okay. But I still care about you, and I still want to make sure you get what you need. All right? Capiche? Capiche. Right. So, number 3, we want accountability. You might not want it. Actually, in reality, a lot of my clients, when they get held accountable, they get pissed off. But I don't even take that personally, because you know why they're getting pissed off at me for holding them accountable? They're getting pissed off at me because they're actually angry at themselves. They're angry at themselves or upset with themselves because it took me to remind them to do what they committed to do. It took me to push them to get them to cross the finish line. And we don't like to think that we're not self-sufficient. I like to go, oh, I'm a strong, independent woman. But sometimes I really do need someone to say, Aileen, move your ass. And I go, oh, fuck off, right? But then the reality is that if I get rid of my ego is what is getting upset. My ego is justifying my crappy behavior. My ego is justifying or defending why I haven't done something yet. My ego is what is making excuses, and my ego is what is coming through to you when you hold me accountable or when I hold somebody else accountable. And I like to say, I generally hold people to account. It's the kick in the ass given with love. So again, if you don't like a kick in the ass given with love, don't come at me, because that's how I roll. And it probably is a little bit of, because that's what I appreciate as well. I like to be, having people talk to me straight. I hate bullshit. It drives me crazy. I haven't got time for it. My time is money. Time is money, honey. So just tell me. And if I'm not doing the right thing, or if I could be doing something better, or if I could be challenging myself further, then speak up. Hold me accountable. Because by golly gosh, I will do exactly that for you. And that is what a great support crew looks like. So when you have those 3 things set up, I know that you are going to put yourself in a position to make 2021 your absolute bitch. I want you to smack it in the backside, right? Compared to 2020, some of you have, contacted, or I've been in contact with you and you're like, oh, wasn't that a dumpster fire of a year? I don't want to hear it. At the end of 2021, that is not what I want to hear from you. I want to do another one of these lives this time next year. And I want to hear people online, because my mission is to get more of you live, online, talking to me. Talk to me. And the reality is that I want to hear the complete opposite, because I want to hear that you took this very wise and sage advice. And it is certainly not my advice. I did not come up with it. Well, I experienced it to be true, and I continue to experience it to be true in my Momentum Business Accelerator crew, who have become my family. They're so amazing, amazing group of business owners. But the reality is that unless you experience it for yourself, you will end up being the person who continues to say, oh, 2021, what a dumpster fire of a year. And I don't want to see you be that person, because I care about you and I want you to have 2021, the year that blew it out of the water. No fires, lots of waves, lots of water, lots of winning. That is the year I want for you. So if that is the year that you want for yourself, then I suggest you get cracking. Get those plans in place. Find the people to put around you to support you, and find that person that can push and challenge you and give you the kick up the ass with love, so that you can make 2021 your bitch. On that note, I am done. I'm going to go and produce some amazing work for the rest of my day. I will be back on Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Between now and then, if you watch this, if you are on live and you want to say hi. If you are not live and you watch this afterwards, then please feel free to leave me some comments. If you think there's other things that you need that other business owners can do for 2021 to create success, then make sure you put it in the comments, because sharing is caring. And if you watch this even later, this time next year, I want to find out what your 2021 looked like. So from me to you, go out, create value for somebody else in your life, because what goes around comes around. We all know that. And until Sunday, I will see you then. Have a great week, everybody.